Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio. EB Radio. EB Radio. Your station for empowerment presents Mom Boss Talk Radio, a show that brings real life, real moms, and real experiences to empower mom bosses everywhere to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. Mom Boss Talk Radio begins now.
Welcome, Mom Bosses, for another exciting episode. Tonight, it's just me, Kiana. Jerisha Manietta will join us again on next week's show. Well, y'all, it's officially February, so we all know what that means, taxes. For those of you who joined us on our last episode, we talked about side hustles for mom bosses. Well, one of mine is doing taxes. I've been doing this now for roughly 20 years, and it's funny, I don't even like doing taxes. I only got into it because when I was in my early 20s, this tax place I went to charged me so much, I was like, yeah, never again, and I've just been doing them ever since. Over the years, I've picked up a few friends and family members as clients, but if it's not a simple return, I will turn you down in a minute. Mom bosses, for those of you who do your own taxes, I know you can relate when I say there is nothing fun about doing taxes, especially if you have a business. It can be time consuming and overwhelming. And so with that being said, I thought I would share some important dates, tips, and changes you should be aware of this tax season. If you stay tuned in, your girl got you covered. But before I jump in, let me just state for the record, I am not a licensed tax professional or CPA, but all the information that I will be sharing with you tonight is directly from the IRS and can be verified through irs.gov. So, for those of you who don't know, as of Monday, January 24th, the IRS started accepting and processing 2021 tax returns, which is actually 17 days earlier than last year, which was on February 12th. However, you may not have everything just yet that you need to file. Employers did have until January 31st to submit your W-2 forms to both the Social Security Administration and the IRS to ensure that you have enough time to file your tax return. What I'm going to next share with you are some important date changes that you need to be aware of this tax season. In the past, taxes have pretty much been due by April 15th. This year, for most, the deadline has been extended until April 18th. Now, I said for most because if you are a resident and taxpayer in the states of Maine or Massachusetts, you have until April 19th due to the Patriots' Day holiday celebrated in those states. Again, listen up. For those of you who are also victims to the Colorado wildfires, as well as the victims of the December tornadoes in parts of Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee, the IRS has extended the deadline until May 16th. This is just for victims, not all residents. So if that doesn't apply to you or you weren't in those areas, but you do live in those states, still file by the 18th. I know the IRS is highly encouraging people to file as early as possible due to expected delays again this year. However, if for whatever reason you can't file by the deadline, you do have the option to request an extension with the IRS by April 18th, which will give you until October 17th to submit and file your 2021 return. So, as we all know, since the pandemic began, we've had a lot of changes, different tax credits, and extenuating circumstances that many of us have never experienced before. In 2020, most Americans were eligible to receive the stimulus relief checks, and then again in 2021 when they sent the third one. But then what was different about this year in 2020, not this year, and last year in 2021, they actually began issuing advanced monthly child tax credit payments to parents for each child 17 and younger from July to December. The child tax credit has always been a part of our returns, but what's important to note is that if you didn't opt out, you've already received half of your credit, half of the child tax credit through the monthly payments paid out to you last year. Even if you didn't have a job or income, you will still need to file a return to get the rest of what's due to you, or what's owed, the other half of that tax credit. Over the past couple weeks, some of you may have already started receiving what is called a letter 6419. What this is it tells you how many children received the payment and how much the IRS believes that child should have received. So just a side note for parents who might have filed a joint return, I've heard that they will receive two letters will be issued out, one for each parent. So just be on the lookout. If you haven't received it yet, it's still coming. This letter is important because it can help you to file an accurate return and to avoid any delays by entering the wrong amount. Perfect example, if you had a baby last year in, say, January or February, you might still be owed 6 or so months or so of those advance payments. If you don't want to wait on that letter, or if you've moved or have any issue with your mail or anything like that, or like I said, you're just wanting to get it filed, you can verify the information through the child tax credit portal site. So at the start of the show, I had mentioned the economic impact payments. Individuals who didn't qualify for a third economic impact payment or got less than the full amount may be eligible to claim the recovery rebate credit. For those who got some money, the IRS says you'll need to know the total received to calculate the correct rebate credit. The IRS is sending out letter 6475. They start sending those out in late January, which included the amount of the third economic impact payment that you received. So if you didn't receive that, again, if you're wanting to file now and don't want to wait, if you have an IRS account online, you can verify that information as well. It'll show you in your account what that amount was, if you don't want to wait on the letter, or if you haven't received that yet. So just a heads up, I know everybody's all, when am I getting my money? I know I personally know of several people that are still even waiting on returns last year. So just a heads up so you're aware. If you are filing a return that includes the child tax credit or the earned income credit as part of your return, you won't be able, the IRS can't issue a refund that includes either one of those credits until the middle of February. I think it was stated February 15th is the earliest that they will be able to issue refunds that include those credits. Basically what this is for your protection, I know everybody wants their money, but really it's for your protection, or that's why the law exists, to really help stop fraudulent returns from being issued. And so just to give parents time to, get their returns in, make sure no one else is double filing a child, anything like that. So for those of you who may have already filed your return, the IRS, their estimated 21-day turnaround to receive your refund will likely not apply to you in those situations, just so you know. So again, that's why, they're saying don't wait to file, get it in as soon as you can, and so they can get that issued out to you. But I also wanted to share a few other things to help, to avoid processing delays. Everybody wants their money, and so, I want to help you to do that as much as I can. The first thing I'm going to say, please avoid filing a paper return at all cost. I do understand some situations simply can't be avoided where you have to do that, but if you can e-file, I highly recommend it. I get, again, that sometimes, you go to e-file and somebody done claimed one of your dependents before you. Now you got to file a paper return to prove that's your child, or, whatever the situation. If you don't have to, don't. E-filing is always the fastest way to submit your return directly to the IRS, and I personally just feel one of the safest, honestly. Second tip would be to make sure that your banking information is updated and correct on your return, and because one number can throw your whole hold up your whole return from getting your return. I've seen it happen to friends before. They were rushing, didn't double check, and they had to wait 6-8 weeks, something. It might have even been longer to get a paper check in the mail because the IRS wasn't able to do the direct deposit. So definitely always make sure that your information is correct, that your account number and routing number are correct, to avoid those types of delays. In regards to that, refunds can be deposited directly into a bank account, a prepaid debit card, or even mobile apps like Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, just to name a few. Whichever ones you may use. But as long as it has a routing number and an account number, it's good to go. Because who has time to be waiting on a paper check? I need my money, and let's keep it moving. But the other thing I would say is, in regards to trying to, avoid those processing delays, would be to definitely, if you're doing your own return, if you're filing your return yourself, please go to a tax professional. I cannot stress this enough. I've seen so many people get burned letting they third cousin, baby mama prepare they return and then end up owing money because she done processed some fraudulent or inaccurate information, and where you're thinking, oh, let me help my cousin out, or oh, I might be saving some money, or oh, they said they could get me this amount back, blah blah blah, trying to call yourself saving money, or going around some stuff. It'll end up costing you money in the end. And so I just don't want to see anybody get burned, in regards to that, because honestly there are people legit that will get you an accurate return, will double check and triple check the information they're entering, and they are aware of the current laws and different things that are available to you, because a lot has really changed, like I said, over the course of the pandemic, as far as in regards to filing a return. And so now I just want to say, if you are going to file your own tax return, and you are income eligible, take advantage of the IRS Free File, where you can go and prepare and file your taxes using a guided tax preparation tool with an IRS partner site. It's safe, easy, and at no cost. Like I said, you're income eligible. Like I said, if I would have, this is how, again, I kind of got started. Well, matter of fact, I want to say that first year, I don't know if I knew of Free File. I don't know if I was familiar with it then, because I was just starting out. Like I said, I was just trying to avoid, paying what I had paid the previous year, filing, having to pay that ridiculous amount on that return. That I won't say it wasn't worth it, but it wasn't when I was able to do the same thing myself. But anyway, like I said, to avoid things like that, or if everybody wants, every little penny counts. So, if you are going to file them yourself, if you're not using the free file through the IRS.gov, definitely check that out, because that first year, like I was saying, I think I ended up paying for like a tax program, and spent like maybe $100, and for what I didn't even have to. The IRS at least provides that free of cost, to taxpayers. So check that out if you're going to file your own. And if you're not feeling confident in doing this, doing your taxes yourself, or you just don't want to take on that task, which I completely understand, what you might want to do is look into your local VITA. And what VITA stands for, their IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. It's a program, I believe, in every city, or every state, I should say, which is a program that offers free tax help for taxpayers who qualify. And so, however, if you're, again, not wanting to do them, but may not want to pay what can be outrageous cost, and especially if you're low income or anything like that, definitely look in to that program. All I did was, you can Google VITA near me, and it'll give you a location, give you locations where the programs and sites are that you can call and set up an appointment. So, like I said, either way, however you choose to file, just get it done and out of the way so you can get your coins sooner than later, and save some money in the process. But Mom Bosses, I just want to thank you for joining me again tonight. This has been another wonderful, amazing episode. And as always, as we always say, we are Mom Bosses on a mission to empower moms all over the world. Remember to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. You are making moves, and you got this.
Thank you for joining us on Mom Boss Talk Radio. Follow each of the Mom Bosses on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love Mom Boss Radio, visit the website at www.envisionedbroadcasting.com. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.